Hey, grade 6. So, that recent quiz, it had some tricky spots, didn't it? Well, your teacher, Mrs. Amira Badir, put together this awesome review to help us all master these problems. Let's think of this as a quick math power-up, so these ideas really stick.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to jump into percentages. Then, we'll see how some cool visual models can make math way easier to understand. After that, we'll tackle rates and conversions, and we'll wrap it all up by talking about your new math superpowers. Ready? Let's do this.
First up, percentages. And, this is a big one. Percentages are absolutely everywhere, from discounts at the mall to your phone battery life to stats in your favorite video game. Nailing this stuff is a real-world skill, for sure.
Okay, before we dive into the problems, let's do a quick refresh on what percent even means. It's actually from Latin, percentum, which literally means per hundred. So anytime you see a number like, say, 50%, you're really just saying 50 for every 100. It's that simple.
Okay, so let's check out these two problems. On the left, question 1 is asking us to find 15% times of 240. Here, we're looking for a smaller part of a whole number. Now, look over at question 7 on the right. It's asking what percent is 4 out of 20. See the difference? Now we're finding the percent itself. They're kind of like two sides of the same coin.
So how do we solve them? For question 1, here's a little trick. The word of in math almost always means multiply. So we just turn 15% into a decimal, that's 0.15, and multiply it by 240. Boom! For question 7, we're going the other way. We start by writing 4 out of 20 as a fraction. That simplifies down to 1/5. And remember, percent means out of 100. Well, 1/5 is the same as 20 out of 100, which means it's 20%.
Ready for a couple more? Good. Question 3 here mixes in a little addition and subtraction, while question 8 is a classic, turning a percentage back into a fraction. Both of these are really just testing our understanding of what a percentage actually is.
For question 3, the most important thing to remember is the order of operations. You got to do what's in the brackets first. So 20% plus 35% gives us 55%. Then we subtract that from 1. Just remember, in the world of percentages, the number 1 always stands for the whole thing, 100%. And for question 8, well, 45% just means 45 per 100. So we write that as a fraction and then simplify it as much as we can.
And here it is, the word problem. I know, but don't worry. We've got Ahmed buying a TV for 8,500 LE, and there's a 15% discount. We just need to find the final price. The number 1 rule for word problems is, don't panic. Just pull out the important bits of information.
Let's break it down just like this slide shows. We know the original price, $8,500. We know the discount rate, 15%. And we know our goal, find the price after the discount. See, when you lay it out like this, it's way less intimidating.
Okay, here's our 2-step attack plan. First, we have to figure out how big the discount actually is. We calculate 15% times of 8,500. But, and this is super important, we're not done yet. This is the part people always forget. Step 2, you have to actually subtract that discount amount from the original price to get the final answer.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. We're moving on to visual math models. Now, these things are fantastic tools because they let you see the problem, which can make it so much easier to figure out what's going on.
So let's take a look at question 4, which uses something called a double number line. Just think of it like 2 rulers that are stuck together. The bottom one is for the percent. It goes from 0 to 100. And the top one is for the actual numbers. The magic is how they line up perfectly. So as you can see, 100% on the bottom line matches up perfectly with 700 on the top. That tells us our whole is 700. Now we need to find the value of x, which lines up with 30%. Well, think about it. If 100% is 700, then 10% has to be 70, right? So 30% would just be 3 times that. It's all about spotting that relationship. Next up, we've got another amazing visual tool, the tape diagram from question 9. This is kind of like a chocolate bar that represents a number. The entire bar is 100%, and for this problem, the whole thing is worth 600. The trick with these is to figure out what just one of those little blocks is worth. Since the whole tape has 10 blocks and it's worth 600, we just do 600 divided by 10. That tells us each block is worth 60. The question wants 30%, which is 3 of those blocks. So 3 times 60 gives us our answer. See? The diagram does all the tough stuff for you. Awesome job. Let's move on to our last big topic, rates and unit conversions. This is where math really, well, it hits the road. We're talking about things like speed and figuring out how to switch between different units, like from kilometers to meters.
Let's look at question 2. It gives us a rate, 150 kilometers in 3 hours. But it's asking for the unit rate. That's a key word. Whenever you see that, it's just a fancy way of asking how much for one. So in this case, how many kilometers did we travel in just 1 hour?
And the solution for this is super straightforward. If you want to find the rate for 1 hour, all you have to do is divide the total distance by the total time. So 150 kilometers divided by 3 hours, and that'll give you your unit rate in kilometers per hour. Simple as that.
Okay, time for the boss level, question 5. This one's a bit trickier because we have to convert two different things at the same time. We're going from kilometers to meters, and we're going from hours to minutes. The key is to just stay calm and handle one conversion at a time.
So, here's our game plan. First, let's take care of the distance. We know there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so we multiply 180 by 1,000. Got it. Next, let's do the time. 1 hour is just 60 minutes. Now that we have our new distance in meters and our new time in minutes, we just divide the new distance by the new time to get our final rate.
And just like that, we've solved every single problem. Fantastic work. Now, before we wrap up, let's just take a second to look at all the awesome math superpowers you've officially unlocked today.
I mean, really think about it. You can now calculate with percentages, you can break down a word problem without getting nervous, you can use these really cool visual models to see the math, and you can handle all kinds of tricky rates and conversions. These are some serious skills.
So, I have a little mission for you. As you go about your week, try to be a math detective. Where do you spot percentages, rates, or conversions out in the real world? Maybe a sale at a store, the speed limit sign, a recipe in the kitchen? Keep your eyes peeled. I promise you'll start seeing them everywhere.
Thanks so much for powering through this with me today, and a huge thank you to Mrs. Amira Badir for putting this amazing review together for us. Keep practicing, keep asking questions, and I'll catch you in the next one.